Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, How to Position Your Firm to Stand Out. My name is Nick Panapinto. I am Senior Director of Channel Marketing at ADP, joined alongside Gary DeHart here from Insightful Accountant, and our presenter today, Lee Reams from AccountingWorks Pro. Before we get started, I have a few quick housekeeping items. CPE is available for this session. You must be present for 50 minutes and participate in at least 3 of the polling questions. Those who meet the minimum criteria will receive their certificate within 24 hours, and that certificate will come from Insightful Accountants. If you have questions, please put them in the chat or the questions panel. Link to the recording from today's webinar will be sent to you and can also be found on Insightful Accountants' YouTube channel within a few days. And we will go ahead and Gary will add that over into the chat. And then a copy of today's presentation slides are also available in the chat. So I'm excited to be here today to present to you a topic that continues to grow in importance in the accounting space. I know it's not always the most popular topic for accountants, but I think that most would agree that marketing your practice is an essential component for long-term success. So thankfully, we have for you today one of the most brilliant marketing minds I've ever known, who, lucky for you all, happens to specialize in marketing for accounting professionals. So Lee Reams II is the CEO and founder of AccountingWorks Pro. If you're not familiar with AccountingWorks Pro, they are an all-in-one digital marketing platform built specifically for accountants. Lee and AccountingWorks have been a close trusted partner of ADP for several years now. They provide the support for ADP's Accountant Marketing Toolkit, which provides completely free marketing tools for accountants who refer ADP to their small business clients. And we'll have some more information for you on ADP's Accountant Marketing Toolkit towards the end of the webinar today. But with that, welcome, Lee. I'm going to hand it over to you, and thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. It is morning for my side, so not everyone's in the afternoon, but I am excited to talk about marketing, especially to a new audience for me. I don't look at it as a boring topic at all. I think it's a necessity. And what we're talking about today with positioning, I think is a lot of times accountants, they don't have a marketing background. They just jump into building a practice, and before they know it, they have a firm that has, let's say hundreds of clients, but they're all from different backgrounds, and it makes it much more challenging to grow your practice. So today we're going to talk about positioning. This webinar, we're going to go through different levels. This is not a sales pitch. I know a lot of these webinars you guys attend, it's more of a infomercial versus real good content. We are talking about marketing. We do have a software platform that we provide, but the reality is we're here to educate you and really get you to kind of rethink the way you run your practice and perhaps take a few risks. So today's agenda, we will go over our introduction. The most important part to me is adjusting your mindset. We'll then talk about how to position your firm to stand out. Why not referrals? I know most of our businesses are built on word of mouth. That has changed with the digital age, but we're going to talk a little bit about referrals, and not necessarily to dump on them, but there's a different way that this can happen in the digital age. We're going to talk about understanding positioning. The most important part is the levels of positioning, and then actually give you some takeaways on how to position your firm. So as an introduction, so imagine for a moment that your firm only said yes to the clients you really enjoyed working with, and that those clients happen to be the highest paying clients, right? So to us, that sounds like a good dream scenario. I know a lot of times, specifically in the last year, I've heard a lot of feedback of pros that are just overwhelmed with work. A lot of times it's affecting their work-life balance. They're at times very frustrated with some of their clients, and maybe not as nice as they normally would be. But if you can kind of think through what we're talking about today in a position firm, you might change your mindset a little bit. So when you're starting out, and this is what I meant when there really isn't a marketing course for tax and accounting pros per se, that's not really in the education side. So the reality is when you start out, you're really hungry for clients. So you're going to take any client that you can receive, whether that's doing pro bono work, however you're getting the clients, everyone has to pay their dues. But the reality here, as you grow, you're going to end up, and this applies both to individuals, kind of the demographics of your firm for individual versus business clients. But what happens is, as you add additional businesses, industries, and services to your roster to appease all these new clients. Before you know it, you're doing everything for everyone. I call this a generalist. So, and I find being a general is very hard because each new client, you got to learn the way they do things. You need to learn all new KPIs as a business client. So there's a lot of friction points to you as the pro to do your job. So in this workshop, we will cover what's wrong with a referral only firm, stress the importance of positioning your firm to find your dream clients, and then most importantly, how to position your firm. So I said the most important part to me is adjusting your mindset. Accountants by nature are usually risk adverse. So in order for you to kind of look at things a different way, I'm going to push the envelope. I might use some words that are, a little more dramatic to get an effect. But, as we go, as you grow your firm, you get more experience and you reach a turning point. So you notice that you love working with some clients. They may be in a specific niche, for example, and you only tolerate others. And I think most of you can look at your client base now and go, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. You're more comfortable in a handful of industries, and maybe you even have a single favorite. That's something you're really passionate about. So you consider specializing, but you're afraid of alienating your current clients. I think that speaks to a lot of people here, hopefully. And what if the referrals dry up once you niche down? Those are all the concerns you're going to have. So breaking free of the full service referral dependent trap isn't easy, but it's a complete game changer for your firm when executed correctly. So with the right strategic plan, you can do more of the work you love with the clients you love and get paid more for it. So I think these last two comments are really important. The clients you love, and more importantly, get paid more for it. So basically, you can establish yourself as the expert in the field. You're going to have more demand for your firm. You're going to be able to demand more, from the packages that you provide. And we're going to talk about how that works. So you can reach a point where you're still getting referrals, but more importantly, the referrals are coming in a specific vertical or niche. Let's say, for example, you focus on law enforcement. What you'll find is it is much easier. You'll get a higher velocity of referrals that if you were in a target audience versus kind of a generalist audience. So your ideal clients are actively reaching out to you. And that is because if you're using certain digital marketing, organic search results, SEO, you're going to find that your website ranks. It's much easier to rank for a specific vertical than it is a generalist. So for my example, if you're a CPA firm in let's just say Los Angeles area, you are competing against, literally thousands of other CPAs. If I'm a CPA in the Los Angeles area that is concentrating on dental practices, that is a much easier way for the search engines to look at my firm as unique, that I have a unique offering, and to rank you better. And with that, you're going to see a lot more inbound leads and inbound people ready to buy for you. So imagine spending 90% of your workday doing your favorite kind of work for your best clients. Imagine the depth of expertise. I think this is really important. If you can master a specific niche and vertical, it's going to take you much less time to deal with new clients. You're going to know the questions to ask the clients before they even ask them, right? So versus by gaining, focusing exclusively on a particular niche. So the premium pricing your clients would happily pay for that is kind of the extra bonus. So if you're like most people, once you get there, you only wish you had done this sooner. And again, this is where the risk of the adjusting your mindset. It's like, oh, this is risky. Do I want to do this? And we'll talk some reasons why you want to in a little bit here. So any of this sounds appealing to you, you're in the right place. We'll help you identify your best opportunities and systematically redirect the ship towards them, one smart decision at a time. So let's get into it. The Marketing First Framework, our first 5-part. So we have this on some other channels. If you go to our Accounting Works Pro YouTube channel, you'll see previous series 2, 3, 4, and 5. So but this is the first one. To me, this is the most important one. So how to position your firm to stand out. So what's wrong with referrals? And I'm going to say nothing. I'm just trying to be a little more dramatic. We get our best clients from referrals. They trust us ahead of time. They make great clients. But our goal with the Marketing First Framework is to get your firm growing like a business twice your size without relying on referrals. Referral businesses only have a certain amount of velocity. Their growth rate is going to be X percentage. And when you talk to accountants, they're like, well, I'm growing great. I'm growing 8% a year, 10% a year. If you look at a traditional kind of SaaS business, a tech company that's growing 30, 50, doubling, you're not in the same ballpark. So what we're trying to do is make you look at your firm differently, look at it as a business versus kind of the professional service side, and try to scale it faster. So it's not that the referral model is wrong or dumb. Most businesses start there and they coast along just fine for months, even years. But here are some of the problems that crop up in a referral-based firm. So number one, you have no control over referrals, which means you can't plan a marketing strategy or anticipate results. And I'll give an example. If the economy slows down, inflation, who knows, we're obviously in a bumpy area right now. We're seeing, things slow down. Does that mean that there'll be fewer businesses starting up? So one of your best referral partners was giving you, let's say, a couple of referrals a month. If there's no one else to refer, you just dried up. You're at the mercy of your clients, and it's usually just a handful doing the referring. So it's pretty typical. You have certain ambassadors that are out there talking you up. They're sending you more volume, and perhaps it's other professionals, estate planners, real estate agents, whatever. But if their business starts drying up, obviously, let's just talk about real estate. If realtors were referring new homeowners to you, and now all of a sudden no one's moving anymore, you're no longer receiving clients, right? So you're forced to compete on price. We don't like to be commodity businesses. I think everyone can shake their heads and say that's correct. And a lot of times there's a lot of pressure pushing us towards feeling like we're commodity players. So you'll never feel comfortable raising your prices. So 4, you will struggle to transition your firm to more premium advisory consulting work, since you'll be stuck doing the work referred to you. So meaning if it's all certain types of clients, they're referring the same type of clients, like basic accounting, bookkeeping, and tax services versus tax planning and virtual CFO services. That's kind of a struggle, right? So 5, you'll stay busy and maybe really busy, but you'll rarely get opportunities to help clients at a deeper, more personally satisfying level. So over time, you may struggle with employee retention, and your own job satisfaction might suffer. So maybe you're thinking, hey, we've built our entire practice on referrals and we're doing just fine. We do great work. Our clients, we get great results. Our clients love us. They're spreading the word. We can hardly keep up with all the business. So how could this be wrong? So I would say to you, of course, doing great work and having loyal clients is an awesome start, but building an entire firm on referrals alone is troublesome. So maybe things are humming along now, but what happens if you go a month without a single referral? Let's say we do go into a deeper recession. Let's say that recession lasts 12 to 18 months. And then all of a sudden, you don't get a referral 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. What's going to happen to your growth rates and your income, right? So the other major problem with referral-driven business is that you have no control over the clients you work with. I think this is one of the most important takeaways from the beginning of this is not being able to control the type of clients you want. So if you love working with a certain niche, wouldn't it be great to have every new client be in that niche, that you own that, you have the expertise? It's going to take you much less time to work with each client and onboard each client. And more importantly, it's going to be easier to sell them. So often firms end up with a large portion of clients are both high maintenance and low paying, which is kind of the double whammy, right? So in fact, it's not uncommon for a firm 5 to 10 years into business to find that 30 to 50% of their client base makes up less than 10% of total revenues. So as we've been talking about, we're going to preach a better way, so don't worry. A way that ensures consistent new client traffic and allows you to do your best work for clients who truly appreciate it. So when you follow our marketing first framework, you'll get a comprehensive, integrated approach to marketing that supports the specific needs of your firm. You'll learn how to control your firm's destiny and attract premium clients consistently and automatically. And more importantly, you'll gain clarity and confidence, and you'll get to see what your firm is really capable of. So I'm done with the intro. I'll stop boring you. We'll get into the meat of this. So let's get started, which brings us to polling question number 1, right on time here. So what happens if you rely only on referrals? We have a pop-up here too. So you have no control. A, B, you're at the mercy of your clients. C, you will struggle to transition your firm to more premium advisory consulting work. And D, all the above. I know we usually try to give enough time for everyone to get through the polling question. So I'll give you a few more moments. And I'm going to go ahead and push through. And D, all the above. So hopefully that's enough time. Hopefully you have gotten through that polling question. So let's get through it. It looks like 9 or 80% got what we consider the right answer. So let's continue on. So understanding positioning. So positioning is the primary pillar of the entire framework, and it answers the question, who do we help? So when establishing your ideal niche, your goal is to get as narrow as possible so that you can substantially differentiate your firm from your competitors, while staying as broad as practical so you can still reach a meaningful audience. So what happens, and what that statement really means is, you want, if someone goes to your website, for example, or a landing page you've created, You want the copy and the imagery of that experience to speak specifically to that audience member. So if you're a generalist, most likely the copywriter who tried to write your headline, the images that you're using on your website will be so watered down, they don't speak to anybody. You're not actually connecting with anyone. The other thing that I was saying here is you don't want to go so niche down that there's not enough audience to sustain a practice, right? So there's some tools that we can help you use to identify how this works. So your positioning strategy, first of all, it should clearly identify which markets and audiences your firm is targeting. Help everyone in the firm understand who your ideal clients are and why you're best equipped to serve them. I think this second bullet is one of the most important things to realize, and I see this a lot in accounting practices. It's everyone from your receptionist, all your staff, every partner needs to understand. Think of it as a political campaign. You're going to narrow down to, let's say, 2 talking points, and you're going to just repeat them over and over and over again. But you want everyone in your staff, every marketing piece of marketing material, every landing page, every website, every social post to reiterate, keep saying the same thing over and over again, okay? That's when positioning and marketing starts to work. So turn your firm into a destination firm, meaning that your clients are willing to work with you remotely. I hear this all the time from accountants. Well, I can't market to someone out of my state, but if you are doing this and let's say you're attracting a niche, people will hire you from anywhere, and more importantly, they're going to pay a premium to get to work with you. So look beyond local traffic. It allows you to attract more ideal business opportunities, significantly escalating your earning potential. And think of this way also, if you're in a state perhaps where the fees are lower, purely from demographics and cost of livings and inflation or whatever, and you're able to attract clients from a higher demographic area, so let's say Silicon Valley clients or tech startups who are used to paying a lot more, you'll be able to get the best of both worlds. You'll have lower cost overhead for where your firm is located. And more importantly, you're going to demand higher fees from these people that are used to it. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. So I like using metaphors. This one is about a restaurant. So you're craving authentic cuisine and you're ready to pay top dollar for it. So the question is, should you hit up the 4-star sushi bar, the ritzy French restaurant downtown, the high-end Brazilian steakhouse on the corner, or what about the Japanese, French, Brazilian fusion experience? And I think you see where I'm going here. This is what I think most enrolled agents, CPA firms, accounting firms do. They try to offer that Japanese, French, Brazilian fusion experience. They are the generalists. So, well, if it's authenticity you're after, it definitely won't be the fusion place. You want the real deal, a restaurant that knows its niche inside and out, that embodies the culture behind the food, that executes every dish flawlessly and never disappoints. So most firms today are trying to be that Japanese, French, Brazilian fusion experience. They brag about their full service offerings and they have a 20-item drop-down menu under industries served. Again, I think you're talking to no one when you're trying to talk to everyone. So their thought is, with this positioning, I'll get prospects interested in the Japanese, French, and Brazilian food. And unfortunately, that's not the way it works out. So now we're getting at the core of positioning. The fact is the customers who are looking to pay the most are looking for the best. So not necessarily the best chefs, but the chefs who are the best at cooking the kind of food they want. So I think you're starting to follow kind of the story here, the metaphor. So your potential clients don't want a firm that understands lots of problems. They want a firm that understands their problems on a deeper level and has solved them before. Now think about that. If I'm a consumer and I'm comparing a generalist CPA firm, for example, to someone who's focused on my niche, that when I came to that website, let's say I'm a veterinarian, they had pets, they had a headline that spoke directly to me. I know then they had reviews and testimonials, even case studies of other veterinary practices, right? Which one do you think I'm going to choose? And most likely I'm going to go, I'm already pre-sold. I'm like, wow, they have expertise in me. There's already a built-in trust factor that they know what we're talking about. And more importantly, if you have niche down, you will know what you're talking about. So they want a firm that knows their market inside and out. They can speak the language. They know what veterinarians are about. They know how they tick. They know how their practices are set up. They know the problems that occur or that might occur before they arise, right? So they leverage expertise from prior engagements to add even more value. So this is where you need to ask yourself, what type of clients do I want to work with? And this is where you start developing your own positioning statement. So I'm not saying one way is right or wrong. I'm giving examples. I'm not trying to push anyone anywhere, but small local clients with low budgets and high demands is kind of the generalist of what you may be attracting now, or bigger clients who are looking for deeper, more specific expertise, those willing to pay $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, tax planning, $2,500 a quarter, whatever. I'm just trying to give some examples here. So today, a firm's success is rooted in its positioning, not necessarily its versatility. So look at it this way, and we're going to talk a little bit about kind of the local way. So if 90% or more of your clients are located within a 50-mile radius of your firm, you're likely positioned as a full-service firm serving a wide variety of clients. So clients aren't necessarily picking you because you're an industry leader. You're not that expert. You're not that influencer, right? Or that you have perhaps really deep expertise. They're picking you because you're convenient. And when they're doing that, now that's going to be a little more of a commodity product. Now they're able to pick against a bunch of different generalists that are local to me. So you're losing that price premium. So convenient and cheap aren't words that clients use when talking about premium services. So our goal, and what I'm trying to teach you guys here today, is to fix your positioning by bringing down the number of competing firms. So what this means is, as a generalist, you're competing about everyone in a generalist category versus Google will reward you incredibly well if your website is highly focused, if your marketing communications are highly focused, if you're blogging about a specific need over and over again, that you become that expert. You will rank higher than any generalist ever will, and you'll stand out, right? So once you've nailed down the perfect position, using the 4 levels of positioning for your firm, you'll begin marketing like crazy. And this is how you can scale and start looking at your professional service business like a traditional tech company, for example. Which leads us into polling question number 2. And let me just move this over. So why might a consumer turn down your firm or practice? So we have A through D here. A, if you know their market inside and out. B, if you can speak the language and anticipate problems before they arise. C, if you offer full services and have a 20-item drop-down menu under industry served. Or D, if you can leverage expertise from prior engagements to add more value. So we'll give you a little bit of time here. Gotta love the housekeeping breaks, but it's good. So I'll go ahead and move on here. And the answer is C. So you can go ahead and close this out if you like. If you offer full services and have a 20-item drop-down menu under industries served. Hey, another 80%. So 80% went that direction as well. So thank you. All right, we'll continue on. So this is, to me, one of the most important parts of this presentation is to understand the 4 levels of positioning. And you can start sitting here now and kind of analyzing your own practice, right? And what I had said before about changing mindset, I think is one of the most important items in this presentation. It is, because real positioning, it takes courage and ultimately clarity, okay? So before you can start on the journey of properly positioning your firm, it's important to understand where your firm is today. So while we review this, be thinking, identifying which of these levels best defines your firm. So the 4 positioning statements, pretty basic: no positioning, weak positioning, multi-niching, and strong positioning. And we'll see how this works right now. So let's get into it. So level 1, no positioning. And the first question I'll ask is, does this sound like you right now? So you're a great firm and you do great work, but there's no way to differentiate you from your competitors, okay? So clear signs that you're at this level include: you use marketing phrases like full service and breadth of expertise and wide variety of industries. And one of the things I see, and now I'll get into a little bit of a sales pitch here. In my competitors, specifically the ones that do websites for accounting firms, this is exactly what they do. Every single website is exactly the same in what they're communicating. So when you're competing against tens of thousands of people just exactly the same, you're not standing out at all. You're basically going to be so watered down that your practice will get very few inbound leads. And you see that a lot. People will say, if they don't follow certain advice on how to build a digital footprint correctly, they'll end up being the point, well, this doesn't work. Well, did you get reviews? Did you position yourself? Did you create content around that position statement? That's the way you'll start getting and being able to grow a really effective practice. So your team feels that choosing a niche is dangerous to business. This is the risk averse issue. You only take on local clients within a certain radius, and your website and blog do not speak to a specific clientele. No positioning. It's just some examples here of no position sites. Basically about services contact. Here's all the services that we offer. Generic, 1040 old, like written tax returns. So, I mean, this couldn't turn people off any more than it does, right? And this is what I see. I mean, we could go, I bet you if we Googled half of the websites out there for the tax and accounting profession, many of them look like this today. Dated websites, no positioning, generic. And they wonder, why am I not attracting any new clients or anyone especially who wants to pay me more money? So level 2, let's get into that. So weak positioning. And most firms want to transition from primarily doing personal tax returns to offering more in-depth business services like tax plan consulting, bookkeeping, and virtual CFO services. So the first step, for some reason, is to go after small businesses or some other similar niche. And what I would say is specializing in small businesses isn't a position either. You're now just a generalist that works with small businesses, okay? So it's a safe move. You've made, you're getting there. You're in the level 2, you're a weak position firm. And they know they need a niche down, but they're too scared to actually do it. And what you'll see a lot of times when firms make the kind of weak positioning, they get really poor results. So it takes a lot of courage, again, to put yourself out there and say, let's go for it. Let's narrow our focus and let's put the effort in to grow that way. So if your firm focuses on small businesses and local clientele, and you'd happily offer any accounting service to a client in any industry, you do not have bad positioning, but your firm may have weak positioning. So just throwing up another example again of and I've seen thousands of websites like this from a particular competitor, and I can't tell you how these sites convert anything. I don't see how you can really grow your practice if this is what your positioning and your website, your digital footprint looks like. So moving to level 3, multi-positioning. Now we're getting there, right? And this is also where I think you'll see a lot of mid-sized firms. So they, as they've grown, realize, whoa, we have particular areas of focus where we're seeing clusters of clients, right? So they're starting to understand the importance of positioning, but instead of choosing a niche, they choose many, many niches, okay? And you've seen this before, industry served, and there'll be, industry after industry after industry, right? So these are the firms that list 8 to 12 plus industries on their website, which may seem like positioning. And you're getting there. Again, you're level 3, so you're getting there, except that every other mid-sized firm lists the same exact industries: oil and gas, manufacturing, farming, real estate. I'm just giving examples, right? But it seems that you're getting there, but you're still caught in the generalist bucket. So the firms might even have individuals who specialize in each of these areas. There's pros that do certain ESOPs, for example, or R&D tax credits, but it's not clear from their marketing whether they're truly capable of serving all of these areas well. And what you'll see is those kind of niches or those services are buried in the website. So they're not front and center. So it's harder for any web visitor to find them. Hopefully Google has indexed them and people will land there on those landing pages. That's getting you're getting closer and closer. So example here, I just said, obvious example, we provide services to any type of industry. A few are listed below. And we have found for our clients included that we have been able to get them to index fairly well for this type of approach on the level 3. So it definitely can work and does work. And we have it working with our clients right now. But ideal world, we get you to level 4, which we're going to go to next. So this might be your firm if you have industries listed on your website, but the list consists of more than 3. Your website's main headline does not mention a niche because there are too many to summarize in any cohesive way. This is a copywriter, like a web designer, creative director's worst nightmare, where they have to water down that copy and headline so much. Even think about this, there's also things in the background like meta titles and descriptions that tells Google what your firm does, what services you offer. And if you're so watered down, that you're going to be caught in that generalist pool. And what's nice about being focused is that your meta title and description will tell Google, hey, this pro focuses on cosmetic surgery offices, medical offices, okay? So your services are not packaged or presented in a way that appeal to specific market niches or verticals. And this is where you're seeing firms that are positioned well or be able to offer, package A, B, and C. So it's like a software company. And they're able to start the conversation from there. We understand not every client fits exact packages, but if you can start it and be very transparent, it takes the mindset that sometimes, clients look at you kind of as a lawyer, an hourly base versus, what do I get in a value package? You're much more, if you're niche down in your position, you're much easier to do this type of pricing strategies. And what we have found, you can do the math all day long. You can narrow down the amount of clients you serve and make much more money if you follow this result or this game plan. So level 4, strong positioning. So this is the tour de force of positioning. It's a place that very few firms get to because they lack the courage to make hard decisions. Firms in this category have a clearly defined position that is clearly posted at the top of their homepage. Their services are customized specifically to this niche or market segment. And this firm, here's an example. This firm specializes in dentistry, simple, obvious, direct. My other one is you could specialize in medical offices, but even narrow it down even more to that cosmetic surgery type offices, because they're going to have different needs than a pediatrician, for example. So these are just ways to start thinking about strong positioning. I usually like to talk from a broad marketing standpoint in Microsoft versus Apple. If you look at the way those two brands built themselves, and Microsoft has learned a lot from Apple, and they've tried to caught up, and they're doing a lot better job. But there's used to be ads. If you put an Apple ad selling the exact same product versus a Microsoft ad, the Microsoft ad would be 5 pages long, and Apple would hit it in one copy, one headline, and one image. And obviously, Apple then started dominating them. So it's just a way to think about positioning on a bigger level. What big brands doing it. So here's just an example of someone who focuses on home-based businesses. Their content is written to home-based businesses. They're talking to people that saving on office expenses specifically to this. This firm will get better index. They'll get more inbound traffic than someone who's a generalist, okay? They're gonna have people that are home-based businesses looking for help, whatever that is, and they're gonna be on page 1 of Google. They're gonna get the most of the clicks. So strong positioning means if a potential client, and we'll go back to my dental example. If a potential client in the dental industry is looking for an accountant, this website would scream my name, okay? They would think, these people know my industry. More importantly, they speak my language. They've worked with lots of others just like me. One huge takeaway, if you are not using reviews, testimonials, and case studies as social proof to build your practice, that's the easy thing to do. That costs no money to do. After this, start thinking about a review campaign, get your Google business profile, get as many 5-star reviews as you can, because these do one of two things. One, they improve your SEO results. More importantly, they pre-sell your clients. So one, you're going to rank better. Then when people land on your website, they're going to read testimonials from other clients that are just like them. And that's going to help you convert. You're going to build the trust factor. You're going to convert a lot more of those visitors than you would without them. So reviews are key. I'm sidetracked, but I'll get back to positioning. So they'll know exactly what questions to ask and what advice to give based on what they've seen in other projects. Okay, so this could be some case studies. They could see the language in the reviews and testimonials from people just like them. They're going to say the keywords better than any copy you can ever have. So they'll have fresh ideas I haven't even thought of. So these people they understand me, and I'm willing to pay more for the specific expertise and time savings I would expect to gain from hiring them. So that goes back to, it's not just a bonus for your clients, but more importantly, from you. You're going to be able to do your job by spending less time. You're going to know the answers. You're going to be able to guide your client to a better outcome, better financial outcome much more quickly. So this might be your firm if you have a website that clearly speaks to a specific client type and vertical and excludes others. I know that is scary. Well, I'm not going to get business from these other people. Who cares? You're going to have so many inbound leads for people that you actually want to work with that it's not going to matter, okay? You're regularly going to generate inbound leads from clients within your niche. So what you're going to see, especially as you generate more and more evergreen content, so meaning if you're blogging about dental issues, dental accounting issues, your blog is going to start getting a lot of inbound traffic, okay? And that grows over time. So as your reputation grows with Google, it's called your EAT score. It's basically expertise, trust. your brand will grow higher in the search engines, and you're going to get even more and more inbound links. So what we've found with clients is this takes time. So any organic plan, any positioning plan takes 3 to 6 months minimum to start generating significant traction. But once you do it year after year after year, you're going to find articles and content you wrote years ago are generating some of your biggest inbound traffic. So it completely grows upon itself, and it becomes kind of an annuity. It just runs. So do you turn down business that doesn't fit your positioning? Is it easily sell big ticket services? Don't have many low budget, high maintenance clients. And you can work with clients virtually across the nation or even the globe. So now with the pandemic, the changing beliefs, both from the way you guys work and the way clients' expectations are. So people that have invested in digitizing that user experiences from, how does someone find me? How do they then decide to talk to me, do a free discovery call, be a virtual meeting? How do I then present my pricing, whether that be package pricing on my website or a specific proposal, to how you intake clients? This should now all be digitized, kind of a side topic. But if you're a strong position firm, you're going to be able to integrate a lot more digital workflows than if you were not a strong position firm. Which leads us to poll question number 3. What level of positioning does this sound like? Clear website that speaks to a specific client type, regularly generates inbound leads from clients with their niche, turns down business that doesn't fit positioning, or works with clients virtually across the nation or even the globe. It's actually cut off, but I just added that. So A, level 1, no positioning; B, level 2, weak positioning; C, level 3, multi-niching; and D, level 4, strong positioning. So go ahead and give you a few moments to work on this. And then the next section I think is most valuable. We're going to talk to you how to position your firm. So go ahead and give you a few more seconds. I think we're good if you want to move that forward. And strong positioning level 4. All right, so the meat of the presentation, why positioning matters. So why bother changing? I said changing your mindset is one of my goals today, but let's talk about it. So if you're at the 3rd level, why bother moving to the 4th? If you're at the 2nd level, the business is booming and everyone's happy, why rock the boat? And I'm going to say, think ahead. As everyone has found out that there's been huge transformation in the way consumers buy products, and it changes very quickly once the momentum gets there. So the question I have is your old legacy workflows, is the old legacy way of setting up a professional service practice sustainable? Are you building the practice you really want? And that's coming, a lot of people have kind of determined their own work-life balance. We've seen a lot of accounting firms, tax pros, retire, get out of the business. So the reality is, what if I did change the way I did things? What if I did own my own niche? You'll be able to guide prospects towards the tools they should be using rather than being replaced by them, okay? You'll welcome these shortcuts rather than feeling threatened by them. And, I think these are some of the things that are pushing us this direction. So let's get started here. So positioning your firm. So this is the steps. If you want to take notes, if you want to get some real good takeaways, this is it. Step 1, what? So the first step in positioning your firm is deciding what you want to do. So ask yourself, which services make us the most money? I think that's important. Not everyone is driven by money, but the reality is, let's make this easier for us. So what services make us the most money? Where are our highest margins? What is our mix of services currently lacking? What are the easiest wins for us? I like this the most, because if you pre-sell and if you're converting more clients, if you could get more of them, obviously your close rates are much higher. It's much easier to grow. Why do prospects seek us out? You need to understand their pain points. You need to understand why. What are they looking for? What is the solution you provide? Okay. And is there a new offering, something that we excel at that doesn't exist yet? Step 2, the who. So let's talk about your ideal client type. Ask yourself, what type of clients have you been most successful with in the past? What stakeholders do you know best? What type of companies typically seek out your help? What industries or market laterals do you excel at? What client types make you the most money? And what clients are the easiest wins for your firm, right? Step one, what? Step two, who? Which puts us into step three. Let's put it all together. So now you're ready to write your firm's positioning statement. So focus on identifying services that are the most underserved, profitable, then pair them with a client type or industry that needs those services. So, and now I'm giving you 3 examples of positioning, right? So your final positioning statement might sound something like this: bookkeeping for marketing agencies, accounting for cosmetic surgeons, financial reporting for craft breweries, automated accounting for e-commerce stores. So we're giving you examples of all 3 of those, and the examples I just gave. If you positioned yourself around them, you created content, blog content, other pages, you had a headline, imagery that spoke to bookkeeping for marketing agencies, you are going to rank much higher than you do today. You are going to attract clients that you want to work with, those that are going to view you when they get there, they're going to go, oh, they get me, and you're going to be able to demand premium pricing. So add your own unique angle to this, okay? So our firm provides, specific service or outcome for what type of market or audience, because by what underlying motivation differentiator, okay? So your goal is to redefine your fundamental business strategy in a way that's specific enough to make you comfortable. So again, I want you to enjoy these type of clients. We want the clients you're attracting to be the ones you want to work with. You love it. You're passionate. Every day you get up going, I can't wait to get to work. I want to help some more people. Okay. That's important, because if the passion isn't there, it's going to be harder to be successful. So a strong positioning statement example: at Roberts and Associates, we provide accounting solutions for all types of veterinary practices. Equipped with an experienced team of accountants, we're ready to provide the accounting solutions and tax planning techniques that will save your practice money and increase your profits. So you're trying to speak to some of their, what are their pain points? Hey, I'll be able to, so I want to save money. I want to make more money if I'm a vet. That positioning statement would speak specifically for me. So 1, I'm a vet. I know you work with me. B, you have an experienced team. You guys are experts. You guys know this industry inside and out. And more importantly, what is the payoff for me? I'm going to save money, and my practice will increase profits. Which leads us to polling question number 4. I think we're good on time too, so I think we're almost perfect. Are you interested in accessing free marketing support to help grow your practice? Hopefully this is a yes, or B, not at this time. So basically, this is where a little bit of salesy with ADP. We have a group of professional consultants, marketing consultants that are here. We have a demo process. We can kind of talk about your firm. We do offer a free discovery calls, and we can talk about how, one, if you're getting into the ADP, HR, the human element, and the payroll side, we can definitely help your practice grow in that way. But our coaches and our business development people can kind of walk through your practice and talk to you about positioning and how Counting Works Pro and ADP can assist you. So hopefully the answer to this one is yes, but we'll go ahead and move forward to get into our ending part. So this is where I get into what I call the opportunity analyzer. Let me be sure. There we go. Now that you have your positioning statement, let's see how well it holds up. So ask yourself, how many firms are currently targeting this position? Okay. Are prospects searching around these problems or services? So Google has a keyword planner, and there's a bunch of different tools. We actually use a tool that will help us identify. So the way we write content for clients, we'll come up with what is trending in a specific topic. And we'll be able to say, we have a software tool that will go out to the internet, and it will tell us exactly what subheads we should use, what is the content that we should write about, how many words should be in that article in order to rank, who are the outbound links that we should link to. So we have a bunch of advanced tools that we use with our VIP clients. But the reality here, when you're setting up, looking at your own deal, you'll Google some things, and then at the bottom, you'll see what Google has for other searchers. And you'll be able to kind of identify, okay, is there enough volume here? Are people searching for the problems that I'm trying to solve, right? And then more importantly, do we have any existing clients with this niche that we can showcase? Case studies. Case studies are huge. Reviews, testimonials. So once you've defined your positioning, you'll need to focus on what you need to change to bring it to life. And this is where the risk side comes in, right? So first, you'll probably need some website changes. We do have, if you Google us and go to our YouTube channel or go to Counting Works Pro, We do have the series, which we'll talk about converting, and then some other things. But with this, one thing, if you want to tiptoe in, we do offer clients where our system actually can manage your main website. So what I'll call your generalist website. And then we can manage multiple landing pages or microsites that allow you to target niches without the amount of risk that if you don't feel comfortable just going all in. So you could have your, Lee Reams and Associates.com, and then you could have your expat taxes Israel.com. Okay. And that would be an example. And we have the ability to manage multiple landing pages that you can actually have a blog specific to that landing page. You can have social posting specific to that, and you can have an email newsletter specific to that. So that's the way the CountingWorks Pro marketing automation platform works. And that's unique in the industry. I don't know any of our competitors allow you to manage all of that in one dashboard. So it's wonderful. So remember, positioning is the primary pillar of the entire framework, and it answers the question, who do we help? So when establishing your ideal niche, your goal is to get as narrow as possible so that you can substantially differentiate your firm from your competitors while staying as broad as practical so you can reach a meaningful audience. So that example I gave you in the medical, I want to focus on medical offices, but I want to do pediatricians, or I want to do, so like cosmetic is a perfect example because they have a lot of money, right? So that is a perfect example where you can niche and then you can niche down from there. Or you could do startups, but maybe you do a certain type of startup. So I focus on software startups. There's some examples where you need to see, okay, if I niche down, can I go to a sub niche within there or a service within there? R&D tax credits would be another perfect example. But you want to make sure there's enough volume of search that you'll be able to, grow your practice and get enough eyeballs, right? Which leads me into Nick. I hope I didn't bore you enough, but Nick, you're up to talk about a little bit about the marketing toolkit and some of the tools we provide.
Thanks, Lee. Yeah, this is listen, this is a great topic that I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar. I think it's something that it just continues to grow in importance year over year. Just as the accounting profession continues to evolve and mature, and looking at all the different opportunities that are out there, as a lot of firms are looking to really grow their practice. I think it's you hit on it before, Lee. I think it's just more important than ever to be specific, to make it clear the services you offer, to try not to be everything to everybody, and really highlight your strengths, because that in itself will help capture a lot of new opportunities for a lot of the firms that are out there. So as we wrap up here, I wanted to, as I mentioned in the beginning of the webinar, so the Accountant Marketing Toolkit. So this is a free marketing tool that's powered by CountingWorks Pro's amazing marketing toolkit engine that we offer for free to accountants who work with ADP, that recommend ADP to their small business clients. So it's a great tool that allows you to customize marketing brochures in videos, everything from the different services that you can offer. If you work with ADP and whether you process payroll in your practice, or you don't want to touch payroll with a 10-foot pole and prefer to refer it out, and then we work directly with your clients, you can promote those solutions, customizing marketing collateral to send to your clients to put on your websites. Even demos of our ADP Run solution that can be co-branded or customized to show your clients how easy it is to process payroll and handle a lot of the different HR functions that your small business clients need. Everything from putting an employee handbook together to job descriptions and such. So that is available for free to our partners. You can also create your custom firm profile on taxbuzz.com. And you have access to a number of different client letter templates and other white label content. And then some of those premium tools that you do get access to for free as part of a 30-day trial. Those premium tools that allow you to build a new firm website, a client newsletter, master your email marketing, manage your social media, and a whole lot of other tools. It is available for free by going to adp.countingworkspro.com. If you are an Accountant Connect user, this tool is also free to our Accountant Connect users. You can just log into Accountant Connect, and then in the resources section, access the marketing toolkit there, and then you can sign up and create your free account from there as well. So again, it's a great way to get your feet wet with some of the different marketing functions that you can offer for your practice. And then if you are interested in the premium services with CountingWorks Pro, so accountants who work with ADP, so you do get access to certain tools for free, like the creating the marketing collateral, creating the custom videos, the client letter toolkit, all that is free and unlimited. But it's those premium tools. So if you're interested in developing a new firm website, if you're interested in putting together a client newsletter or getting help with email marketing, you can access those tools for free for 30 days. And then after those 30 days, if you subscribe, you can receive a 20% discount off the first 3 months. And then any setup fees are waived as well. So again, to learn more by going to adp.countingworkspro.com or by signing into your Accountant Connect account.
Which is awesome. And it's a very cool tool. So basically, what's another neat little thing is ADP has all their ad agency quality video content, for example. And then what our technology does is it will personalize the videos on the fly and actually build you a customized version of that, about ADP services that you can add to your website. And then we have everything. It's done for you marketing, which is wonderful. So definitely something, if you're interested, reach out to countingworkspro.com. And you can even go through a demo. We have a demo link and you can talk to someone in a free discovery call and talk it over. So I don't know, Gary or Nick, if we have any Q&A. I thought I'd try to cover this subject as much as possible. If there is anything, we have a little bit of time before we shut this thing down.
Yeah, there is one, and I'll read it as it's written. So it says, what is the best method to, quote, super expose CPA industry specialty on Google search?
Well, I would do a content-driven campaign. So you could go after the simple way, I guess, is to do a microblog website and then create a strategy where you guys are blogging specifically about that niche on your website and do it regularly and have that be, I call them microsites. So perhaps on the top, there's a little bit about your firm, who you guys are, why you're experts, and then have that blog content. That would be the best way to build authority very quickly. If you are niche down, you're going to see that Google's going to index that page faster than if you were a generalist. So if you put that page or try to do this on a traditional generalist site, it probably gets lost. If you put it on a standalone kind of microsite environment, Google's going to rank you quickly. You need to share all this with social media. You need to be focusing. So what's great about being in a niche, you can now be that expert and find where your clients are hanging out, right? So where your prospects are, future clients, I would say. So where your prospects are hanging out. So there's LinkedIn groups, there's Facebook groups, there's all these different Reddit groups, there's all these different areas that you could participate in, answer questions, join communities, start building up your reputation, not necessarily going all out and selling, but just sharing your expertise. You can do that on Twitter as well. So there's a bunch of different ways. So I'd create and we do this for our clients, CountingWorks Pro's platform. We have the ability to create these microsites, the ability to have a publishing tool that you can blog, do it consistently. More importantly, we can tie that into your social media profiles. More importantly, your Google profile. We can help you build your reviews. All of these elements will help you rank well. And then as you gain followers, that newsletter, getting that newsletter out with that content monthly would be really important. So there's a long-winded question or answer to that question.
And then a follow-up to that, just for clarity, says, a question Maria posted, does your company host websites?
Yeah, so we are a standalone, we're a full turnkey software platform. So we do everything, we call it the get found part. So establishing your digital footprint. We will do done for you website, high speed, mobile friendly sites, modern looking sites, not kind of what our competitors are doing where they're still stuck on the legacy side. Google, it wants that. Everyone's on their mobile devices. They want sites that are not as wordy. They want sites that are more direct. They want sites that load quickly, but we do all that for our clients. So we're very good at getting people ranked well. You need much more than a website to rank in Google. I think that's a misnomer that people think, oh, I put my website, it's not ranking. Well, are you on social media? Do you have a social media following? Those are parts of the algorithm, how they do it. Do you have a good review profile? When people are referred to you and they Google your name, are all of your 5-star reviews front and center right below your website? These are elements that are going to help you rank. And a lot of times I think because of a lack of knowledge of how the game works, and perhaps even just poor other solutions that are poorly built, people lose that fact. So yes, 100%, that's what Counting Works Pro is all about.
Okay, I'm going to go back to something you said when you were answering the first question, and that was posting content regularly on that microsite. What is regularly?
It depends on the type of content, but at least once a week, we do at least 2 a week minimum. What we have found is the more often, and this is if you really want to dominate. So you're all in. You believe that content marketing will work. You believe that positioning will work. You're going to have to work at it, right? So you need to show that you really are the expert. But what we have found is the more of the velocity. So Google knows that you didn't just do this. And we see this all the time, firms that build their own websites and they start their blog and they post 5 blog articles, and then you go visit their website and the last article was from 2018 when they launched that site. That is like the death to indexing in Google. To think about, Google is looking for people, brands, that they feel confident in indexing higher because you know what you're talking about and you're active. You are experts. They want their searchers to find the answers to their questions as quickly as possible. So that is why that's how the algorithm works. So to think that you can just put up a WordPress site and blog 6 times or 3 times and then quit, it just doesn't work. So that's the answer to that.
All right, so I've got 2 that will probably take us home. Question 1 is, and this is the part that no accountant wants to hear. How much of my budget, how much of my revenue should I be dedicating to marketing?
Well, it's the problem is any vendor that works in the tax and accounting space, we can't give the actual answer because, it's 10, 20%, it's a big number. And what we find is, I want to spend a couple $100 and a month, or $80 is too much. I don't have a need for marketing. The reality is what we have done since we focus specifically on the niche, our highest product right now, subscription, is $300 a month. And that is where you get access to our SEO expert so Rebecca specifically has been writing content, creating content, and getting indexed for both local and national firms. So we know exactly what works, and we have thousands of users, so we can see what ranks, what doesn't rank. And we also know how to write what needs to be, what to write to rank well. So the reality is if you work with someone like us, we can get you really far with a pretty limited budget. And then we can expand upon that. So you could do multiple landing pages and you could go into some of our other products, but you do not need a huge budget to get this working very quickly.
Okay. Then I think the last one, this actually will tail in very well with something you just stated, but so I'll read the whole question. It says, what do you recommend for a business that provides multiple services like accounting services, financial services, and real estate? How do you market this, and would you recommend combining or individual websites?
That sounds like the metaphor I gave with the restaurants.
Correct.
I would try to focus it down, and I would probably separate them. You could still have your kind of generalist site, but I would go all in on landing page funnels and do the microsite. So throw the blog in there. So a lot of times, so there's on the internet, you'll find lead funnels, and everyone talks about these lead funnels and the new way people buy things. I 100% believe in that, simplified journeys. But when you're talking about professional services, you're talking about your selling expertise, and you need to showcase that expertise. And how do you do that? It's through blogging and content marketing. So that's kind of the approach I would take, but I would probably break those up. You could still have your generalist site, but throw in 3 separate landing pages and just see what happens and start building a following. Again, you have to integrate the digital landing page with your newsletter, with your social, and with your blog. So those are the things that make it work. Then you have like a full service approach there.
Well, that's very good, fantastic information. I'm sitting there taking notes myself. And I think, again, I think the biggest hurdle for any small business, and let's face it, most accounting firms, bookkeeping firms, most are small businesses just like me, and is making that commitment to that, 10%, 15%, whatever the number is, 300, 500, $1,000 a month that I've got to spend on marketing. But I think what my takeaway from this, and we actually just this year, in the last 12 months, have made a much larger investment ourselves in marketing. And we're certainly seeing it paying off. But I think my takeaway from it is, even though I'm not, an accounting professional, is you got to make the commitment to that marketing budget, and it's got to be outsourced. And that's one thing that we, even as a media firm, where the mistake we made was trying to do it ourselves. And there's some things we're really good at, and there's some things that we're not really good at. And those things are the things we need to outsource. And I think for this market in particular, accounting and bookkeeping, marketing is not the strength. It's the numbers, it's the data, and it's really understanding businesses. So, I think the takeaway is find a way to carve out those dollars, and outsource to a trusted, professional company that can take you from 0 to 10 in a pretty short period of time. That's my takeaway.
Yeah, and we'll talk to accountants ROI, right? Return on your investment. So, you invest this, if you change the way you offer your services, if you get into a position firm, if you throw in package pricing, so you have subscription-based pricing versus, one-time engagements, you'll realize you can do the math pretty quickly. If you have 100 clients right now and you get 20 to jump on board to an annuity product where they're spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month with you, you can see the return very quickly. The investment means nothing really, because if you can attract those type of clients over and over again, you're going to work with fewer clients, make more money. And then if you do want to scale it, you can worry about the scaling next, because you can turn the siphon on or off, and you can say, hey, we're sold out. We have a waiting list. But I appreciate all the comments. I hope everyone has gotten some good information from this. I am on LinkedIn. Please follow me, Lee Reams. Google Lee Reams II, I think. Lee Reams Sr. is on there as well. He is not a marketing expert. He's more of a technical person. But feel free to visit our website, accountingworkspro.com. We hope to hear and see from you guys. Again, thank you for opening up your audience, Gary. This has been great. Hope everyone has appreciated it. And thank you again to ADP for co-sponsoring this and doing this presentation with us.
Great. Certainly appreciate your time. Appreciate everybody being here. And just as a reminder, CPE certificates will be sent out within 24 hours. And then you will also receive within about 24 hours the presentation. It is in the chat, however, and then the recording of this will be posted to our YouTube channel. And that usually takes about 3 days for us to get that posted. But those links will be in the follow-up email. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, ADP, for sponsoring this. And thank you to everyone who took an hour out of your day to hopefully learn something to improve your practice. See you soon.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.